All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Howdy, y'all, and welcome to another episode of David's Saturday Night Sitback, the podcast where we tell stories that will light your internal fire. Whether it's about business, fitness, culture, or just figuring life out, my guests and I sit down, open up, and dive deep. Most of the people on the show have never told their story like this before, not on stage, not on YouTube, and probably not on a podcast. So grab a drink, take a breath, let's sit back together, because this afternoon might just be the story that's just something for you. Today's guest is an Austin, Texas native. They're few and far between, guys, and after working in the corporate world for several years, he finally had enough and left his job to pursue a career in photography and stand-up comedy. When he's not doing comedy, you may find this guy bouldering, mini-golfing, wine tasting, hanging out in Florida, skydiving, or working out. He's gone through a bit of a transformation in recent years, losing about 50 pounds, and if you're a Kill Tony fan and you're on YouTube today, you may recognize him. He's made it on the show 5 times and is a big joke book winner. Today, sitting back with me is Stuart. Sean, thank you for being here. Thank you for who you are, and welcome to your episode on David's Saturday Night Sitback.
Howdy, yeah, and glad to be here. You did a bit of a deep dive there, so you found a lot about me there.
There wasn't a ton. You're sort of an elusive person online. I went through your whole Instagram, and there's some comedy stuff, but sometimes people's Instagrams and Facebooks go back to like 2012, 2015, and I find some really good information. But for you, I was struggling to come up with a good intro, because I'm like, okay, this guy's a mystery. He's not online.
Yeah, I feel like on Facebook I probably have a lot more. Instagram I didn't really like start one till like maybe 5-6 years ago when I actually started like using Instagram. I never even had one like growing up too much.
Why did you start it for comedy or just for fun? Why'd you fire it up?
I started it when I became single at like 24 years old.
So it was like a way to get some pictures of yourself out there in case there is a lady who maybe wanted to do some research or something.
Well, it was Instagram became like the standard like way to connect with people almost, at least like in kind of like my 24-year-old age range at that time. It was like, people didn't really trade numbers. They just like were like, oh, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens now a lot too, or at least in comedy, it's like almost what we all use. Or to like communicate and set things up, and like just if somebody doesn't have an Instagram, we're like, oh, what the hell? Like when we're in comedy, we run into people like that, and we're like, what are you doing?
And they're comedians?
Yeah, I ran into a few people that like don't have an Instagram, and they're just like, yeah, I need to make one, and I'm like, yeah, like that's kind of where it's how everyone like communicates now and talks, and like it's kind of people make like group chats for booking on shows and use just Instagram for that. They'll put your Instagram all in like a group chat and stuff. It's like kind of the app for all comedians here right now a little bit, or like, ooh,
there goes the bottle.
For what everybody uses at least.
I am not a comedian, obviously, but don't you sort of have to have one? I've had a few comedians on the show, and I feel like that's sort of how you brand yourself and how people, like you, for example, you go on Kill Tony, and people love you. They have an instant way to connect with you, and they can see your bits and see what you're up to, see where your shows are going to be. How are they big comedians? Have you met a big comedian with no Instagram?
Not really, more just people like in the open mic scene, or people that maybe are going through episodes who like delete their Instagram sometimes, just like out of nowhere. There's a lot of like characters in the comedy scene, like just a lot of like people that are, not accepted anywhere else. And comedy, we accept everybody. Like I was accepted. I wasn't really always accepted everywhere else, and so I was a pretty strange, weird, quirky kid.
Yeah, I had like 3 questions I was going to ask you, so I'm pausing for a second to be like, do I want to change the subject or not? Why do you think you were weird or quirky outside of your pigeon chest?
I don't know. I never got diagnosed with autism or anything. Now everyone thinks we have it. I did get vaccines, so that may be a thing to it. I don't know. I just was like a video game kid growing up. After like middle school or so, like I didn't really play sports, and just in like high school, I mean, I had friends and stuff and was social, but I just like didn't go to parties. I played games and stuff like that, and just like, yeah, it was just kind of like a big internet culture guy growing up. I just spent too much time on the internet.
I mean, I played a lot of games too, and I feel like I turned out okay. I think a lot of my friends grew up on like, I'm a little bit older than you, but we all had our Super Nintendos. N64 was next. PlayStation was about the same time. But you said you did get outdoors a lot too, right?
Yeah, in elementary school and stuff like that, I would ride my bike and like climb trees, and we'd go out and just like play kickball, baseball, and stuff like that. Get in fights with the neighbors, ding dong dicks,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like as I got older, I feel like it just moved more to like I was like, oh hey, I got off school, I went home and like played video games, and then like went to bed, and so.
Yeah, that was me too. We would stay outside until nighttime, usually doing like. Did you ever have a laser tag set?
Yeah, one of the I think
Where
we
you
got
had
one
like
for
the
Christmas.
little vest and you had
Yeah.
the little gun.
They didn't work as well. They didn't work as well as like the real thing.
But still a good time.
I don't know. We used it like once or twice, and we are like, this is kind of dodo.
What would you yell at your neighbors about?
Or we just like get in trouble playing like baseball in the cul-de-sac. Like, one of the neighbors was like a nurse, and we called her Mango Lady.
Mango?
Yeah. There was. My dad had a lady that was crazy when he was growing up. That was his neighbor that grew mangoes in her yard, and like shot at him and his brothers with a salt gun, and. He was like, she's like Mango Lady, and then that name just stuck for the entire block, and she just became like Mango Lady is what everyone called her.
Does she know she's Mango Lady?
I don't know. Her kids are like pretty cool now. Like in high school, they were pretty chill, and so she stopped being like as crazy once we got a little bit older. But like when we were in elementary and like younger, playing just baseball or kickball in the cul-de-sac, she'd like steal the ball if it like went into her yard, and would like call the cops on us, and the cops would come and be like, "Lady, you got to stop doing this. This is like the third time you call the cops on kids playing baseball. They're not known." Like, yeah, and so it was fun, but ding dong diction, we could get in trouble for it a few times, stuff like that.
The police calling the police on the kids thing is weird because like what does she want you guys to be doing? Like if you hit a ball and it breaks her window, that's one thing, but like. What else does she want you to be doing? Drugs? They're just playing baseball. Let kids be kids.
She wants us inside studying. Like, well, I don't know. That's probably what she had her kids doing. No, she was just a weird mom. We felt bad for her kids. They were like, they can come play. I remember sometimes they were playing with us, and then she was like, no, get inside. And I'm like, ah, damn. It's like, my dad was like, man, she's a bitch.
What's her first name? Do you know?
No, I didn't. I lived next to that. I lived next to her for like, what is it, 20 years, 22 years or so? Yeah, 24 years.
Even when you were older, you never learned what her first real name was.
No, we did have like, I think my mom might, because somebody like vandalized a bunch of cars on our neighborhood one night, and they had video of it, and they sent us the video. But that was the last I really talked to them.
Yeah. I'd be curious what your take on this is. So in this unit right here, someone moved in, and I think that she's been here for maybe 5 or 6 months now. One time I was taking Thad for a walk at the same time that she was getting home from work. So I introduced myself, introduced Thad. It was a Friday night, and I said, so what are you doing with your Friday night or with your weekend? And she said, oh, I'm going to church. We're having a worship service. And I was like,
yeah.
all right, that's cool, good little Christian girl. So we know that about her. I know she probably has an 8 to 5 job because my work desk is right there, and she parks right outside the window, so I see her come and go from work every day. But outside of that, the strange thing about her, so we know she's a Christian, we know she has a job, probably, and outside of that, she has never opened a single one of those windows. Those windows stay shut 24/7. She goes right up after she gets home from work, opens the door as quick as she can, closes it behind her. The other thing she does that's sort of weird is she always keeps her back to these windows. So the two neighbors that live right here, whenever they get home and they see me recording, they always give a friendly wave and, sort of mouth hello. And they acknowledge the bright lights and, but she almost like avoids it. And I wonder like, what is going on behind these closed doors? Why does she not like natural light? Why does she never, ever open her windows? It's so weird to me.
I don't know. I'd be a little bit like worried. You may have like a skinwalker living in your apartment or something like that. And they're like, yeah, I go to church. Or you're actually like going to feed or something on Friday nights or something like that.
She's going to feed.
Yeah.
What if she's part of a cult?
Could be. I mean, yeah, I do. I go to. People tell me I go to a cult every now and then. I don't go to the cult for church, but I go for an open mic they host every month. But I go to Scientology.
Oh.
Yeah, here in Austin, we have a Church of Scientology. I go to on Wednesday. Honestly, they need to pay me for promoting their mic. Actually,
Yeah, yeah. Throw some royalties his way.
Yeah,
Sean's doing you solid. I've never heard anyone talk about this before.
They actually messaged me like, "Hey, can you promote it? Can you share it? You bring people." And I'm like, y'all need to. I don't have my 9 to 5 anymore. This is gonna cost you money for me to promote.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bleep that.
Take it out.
It was the Church of the Spaghetti Monster,
Yeah. So is the open mic, does it have anything to do with the church, or do they just host the open mic in the building, but it's like a separate thing?
They host the open mic. You're on the stage where they like preach. Like you're next to L. Ron Hubbard like statue and stuff there. His face is like right there. And I've been there with like 15, 16 comedians once, and it's a mixed open mic. So it's like music and comedy.
What kind of music?
Like people are rapping sometimes. People are like singing with a guitar. There was a guy doing opera, like singing opera, and I was like, man, I gotta do comedy after this dude sings opera. Like it literally like Abe Lincoln like time opera, like good quality stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy good. And then I'm gonna go up there and say like dick jokes. Like this is, and they don't like vulgar stuff like most of Austin. So it is kind of weird because Austin is a very vulgar scene. And there, it's more like, hey, like, don't do sexual stuff, don't do this, and so it's you kind of have to adjust your act to it a little bit, at least for the Austin comics.
That seems like an uphill battle, the no vulgar stuff. Because I love comedy, so I mostly Kill Tony, but I also try to wrangle all my friends, and we'll go to, one of the 17 comedy spots we have around here. And yeah, people are, dude, you're going to get a little, you can't, I remember, I've told this story on here a few times, so sorry for any regular audience members, but I went to see, have you crossed paths with Clementine yet? You met him?
Yeah, Clem. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to see Clem perform, so he had a show back in either June or July, and I show up, and it was like 6, 7, 8 comedians performing, and this one guy got up and was telling some jokes about boobs and pussy, and this one girl in the back said something like, so he started doing some crowd work, and the first question he asked everyone is like, what are you doing here tonight? And so he asked this one girl, what are you doing here tonight? Or the lady, and she says, I guess I'm just waiting for you to say something funny. And he's like, why don't you get on stage and show us your butthole? That'd be funny. And she takes her purse off the chair next to her, and she slams it on the ground, and she goes, oh, you think that's funny? You think that's fucking funny? And then she grabs her purse and storms out, marching, pounding her feet on the ground as hard as she could. I'm like, you gotta almost go to comedy prepared to not be offended.
Yeah.
Because between 8 comedians, one of them's gonna say something that will probably offend everyone in the audience. But you don't go to comedy to get upset. You go to laugh. You go to have fun. That's why I go.
Yeah, you got to go not like worried about anything or not like being defensive. Like I feel like I've always kind of had that type of vibe to me. Like I don't really get offended when people are like making fun of me because I'm like, oh hey, you can, like, hey, that's just your opinion type thing. And it's also like how my family like kind of shows love, kind of, or how I'm like the better friends I am with somebody, the more like mean and stuff I am to them.
Yes.
And that's how I'm like used to when people are being mean. I just kind of find it funny, or it's just entertaining to me. If somebody tries to like fight me at a club or something like that, I'm just like, why are you being rude? Like I de-escalate it and stuff like that. I had a guy like flip me off, and I was like, that's even ruder. And so it's just, we didn't fight. And so he was just confused because I'm just like so not trying to like fight people or so. So I don't know why I was talking about this. I'm a little bit high still.
Because I brought up the angry lady in the comedy club.
Yeah.
So your answer was perfect, even though you didn't know it.
Yeah. No, so I'm like always like up there, like not trying to. Well, even if like you offend people, you don't want to offend people, but you do want to put like. That's what a lot of people like here now.
Yeah.
And so it's like there is a fine line, I think, of walking. I think you got to not be hateful with it whenever you're making jokes. You got to actually like try to be funny. Patrice O'Neill always said like you need the attempt to make a joke, but if you're just like trying to be hateful in a joke, then like doesn't really compare.
Yeah, totally. There definitely have been. I can't think of any examples. It's probably been off of like Killed Tony or something. Killed Tony should pay me some royalties for how much I talk about him or the show. But yeah, there are some people where they get up and you're just like, oh, that was real rough. that was sort of painful, not because it was bad, but because it was almost like malicious, you know. And you're just like, why are you being a dick?
Yeah.
Why don't you be funny?
Yeah. It's ended some careers, or some people have quit comedy. I know from getting up there, and I think they just don't see them in the scene anymore if they do bad, and so some people take it too serious, I think, or so see it as like a career-ending move or like a career-making move if they don't like do well on there. But I've been on there 5 times and I've bombed and done all right. So
Yeah, your one with my favorite one, if you don't mind me saying, was the one about your dead girlfriend.
oh yeah,
I was rolling. That one was fantastic, dude.
that one was pretty new, and that's made up there. I was like, that was just like a random story I was talking to a buddy about. I was like, yeah, no, because he was like, you got into comedy a lot more. And I was like, yeah, no, my ex, she ended things, and he was like, she killed herself, and I'm like, no. But I should definitely say that as a joke because that'd be funny. And I started doing that joke, and people were like, man, that's good. And then I got pulled on Kill Tony. That was my second time. And that's what got me the big joke book, I think, or so, because I have like edited the joke a bit more to punch it up and like make it a bit better and like not as like edgy with like Kurt Cobain and stuff. But yeah,
Well, kudos to you, man, for doing one of your best ones on the sort of not on the spot, but in a way, sort of on the spot. Well done. How does one how does one get over thinking about comedy to actually doing it? Because that's I have a buddy right now who's changing jobs. He's going from one sales job to a different sales job. You know, that's not a huge like pivot. But to get into comedy, like I'm going to get on a stage and try to make a room full of people laugh with the risk that I could be booed. What was the thing that got you onto your first stage or in front of your first mic?
I've been like writing, I feel like jokes since almost like high school, or like almost had like a notes in my phone about it. But I like never did comedy, but I was always a big fan of comedy. Like always growing up, even in elementary school, I was watching like Dane Cook and just other comedians like Ralphie May. I was a big fan of Patrice O'Neill growing up. I was watching him and just always watching like comedy specials, kind of even when I was younger. But I never really thought about being a comedian or really trying it. But I was always like funny or tried to be funny. I feel like. Making jokes and like trying to like joke with my friends and stuff like that, and people would tell me like, "Oh, you should do comedy." Or that's when I would hear it like in the past before I started comedy, maybe like a year or two before. People were telling me that, and then I watched an episode of Kill Tony, or I watched just David Lucas and Kill Tony roast this fat woman. On an episode, this woman came up and do comedy, and she just got up on stage, bombed for a minute, and then Tony and David Lucas just called her fat for 10 minutes.
How'd she take it? Do you remember?
She did not take it well. She like stormed off the stage after like 10 minutes of them just calling her fat, and I was like, you know, I can do that.
that didn't look too hard.
Yeah, I was like, I grew up on Xbox. Like, I'm used to people talking shit to me. If I do bad, whatever. And so I was like, man, I like went out and tried comedy. And the first time I went out, I had like 6 of my buddies come with me. And for an open mic, that was the entire audience. Because it's weird here in Austin sometimes. A lot of the open mics are just comics. It's almost like a hangout spot where it's smoking, like hanging out, talking about new jokes, just shooting the shit. But I brought like 6, 7 of my buddies that came in there, and I went up for the first time, and that kind of like made it a lot easier, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I had friends, and they were laughing, and so it made it seem like it went better than it probably did or so. But that, I think, was the way I got into it, is kind of like... I also thought, like, finally, cancel culture was kind of ending. It started seeming like, oh, hey, you can, like, talk more now. And now it may be going a little bit too far. Honestly. I think, like, it seems like all bars have been peeled, or all bars have been lifted. Like, you can say anything almost now. And, like, the means of a joke. And I feel like you know, I don't think we should police anything, but I'm like, there's a line that we shouldn't cross almost, like when we're doing stuff. There's a line. It seems like that line has been like just lifted. Like you can go wherever you want now.
Sean, we're crossing the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one wasn't that crazy, but I thought of it when you were talking about the lady that they made fun of on the David Lucas episode. There is one where they kept making jokes about how flat a lady's breasts were, and that one was, I was just like, man, I don't think I could do comedy, just because I'll admit to you right now, I don't think my skin is thick enough for it. You know, like one of my friends, have you met Isaac Kane Brown?
I don't think so. I mean, if I see the face, I might recognize him.
He's another comedian here in Texas, and he told me he thinks I'm funny, I guess, and he told me that I should try Banana Phone at the Creek in the Cave on Sunday night, and I said absolutely not. That's a terrible suggestion to tell anyone to do for their first time, to get, what is it, like 30 seconds or a minute, and then the audience just gets to roast you. I would go home, lock that door, close my windows, and never come out again.
I think, but it is a rough experience, but it's also one of the best mics or shows. It's really more of a show than, even though it is a mic that anyone can sign up for, it is one of the best shows in Austin, I'd say. It's like all the comedians love being there. It gets a good audience members. It's a great show, and it definitely helps you. Like if you are a comedian, because I got on Kill Tony the first time, and then like I did Banana Phone 3 or 4 times, and I think it helped me the second time be much better in the interview. Because the first time I did Banana Phone, like I said, I grew up on Xbox, kind of. That was my reaction when they were like insulting me. I was like, yeah, well you're F word. I was like, yeah, I fuck your mom. Like, just stuff I would say on Xbox, Call of Duty stuff. And that doesn't work in real life, really, you know? And so you had to adapt it to comedy. Like, it's not funny. Like, here it still, like, works online, just saying that stuff to people because you just talk over people. But, like, in person, you got to be funny, have clapbacks and stuff, and that's just, like, not the way to do it. So it definitely helps you grow. I feel like that show. If you are like new in comedy, I definitely suggest people do it though.
Well, if I ever decide that I need to do something else along with the podcast, maybe I'll go do some Banana Phones, because I have a few things I could talk about. Like ever since Isaac planted the idea, I'll be walking the dog, and usually when I walk him, I'll try to leave my phone at home, and it's just 30 minutes where I can just sort of let my mind. It's my form of meditating, you know, almost like I'm just gonna think while I walk Thad. And I have been thinking about just like past experiences in my life and like, this hookup, that went really bad. How could I maybe exaggerate or modify it a little bit so that people would laugh? And then I'll even try it on the podcast sometimes if it comes up, and if you say something and then that memory gets activated, I might try it on you and then just see how one person reacts. So I feel like I could potentially get up and go for like 3 to 5 minutes and actually get some laughs. But I don't know, man. Like I said, from my perception, I feel like comedy, nurses, and police, and probably teachers are like the 4 hardest jobs on planet Earth. And I just don't want to. I don't want to do that.
Putting us in the comedians in the same group as police and nurses is a big. That's one of the funniest things I've heard in a while, because it's a bunch of alcoholics and drug addicts.
Right. People that have been in jail.
Yeah, OnlyFans models. Oh, God. People that didn't go to college, basically, versus a bunch. Well, I mean, cops don't either, but.
Maybe I'll write that one down. I'll add that to my list of if I ever get on stage, this is what I'll talk about stuff.
Yeah. Well, I definitely would do, like, mics, and, like, I feel like, because I started kind of, like, not really expecting to do comedy as, like, a career or anything. I was just like, I like comedy. I'll try it out. Do it as, like, a hobby here and there, maybe. And then I kind of just, like, felt like I found my place, or, like, found, like, my own drive and my own purpose for doing things for myself, kind of, or like a place I fit in, and then it just kind of stuck, and I kept going more and more and more, and then here it is now, like 2 years later, where I'm like actually striving for it. Yeah. It was after that the second time I was on Kill Tony, or the first time I think even. People like messaged me from high school and stuff, and was like, "I saw you," da 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 da. And they haven't messaged me since high school, and they're like, "You were funny, da da da. You were talking about this guy, da 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 da. You found it funny, da da da." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so it was kind of like encouraged me a little bit to like take it more serious, and that's when I like kind of started going out to mics like every single night instead of like once or twice a week, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And because you really honestly, if you want to get into it, I'd say just start like go to a mic as like a hobby. Don't expect to really go into it like the aim to like, oh, I want to be a comedian. But if you fall in love with it, then like I guess then stick with it. Because some people maybe don't like the lifestyle of it. Some people may just want to do like more online comedy stuff, you know. There's a couple different pathways into it, I think. But I'm still 2 years into it. I'm still learning, trying to figure out myself.
You're a baby.
Yeah, I'm still
a
new.
Very tall baby.
Yeah. I need to get even taller nowadays. You got to be like 6'2". I'm like 6'1".
You got to start hanging from a pull-up bar for 60 seconds to kick off your workouts.
Yeah, extend my back a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing is the pull-up bars at my gym, like my feet still touch. I got to bend my legs.
Even at just 6'1", Gold's doesn't have a good, nice, tall pull-up bar for you to hang
Gold's
off of?
does, but I also go to Crunch because like Crunch is open 24/7. Gold's closes at like 11, and yeah, Crunch they like my feet touch the ground.
Real quick. Well, I got this up. Oh, what you doing? Does this guy look familiar?
I feel like he does look familiar. Like I've seen him, but I don't know if I've talked to him too much or like hung out with him.
If you ever see him, say hi. He's good people. He's
Isaac?
real good people. Isaac.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him or so, and the name seems familiar, but I don't think I probably just go to the same mics or hang out in the same like kind of areas he does.
I think his two main spots are Sunset Strip and Nard Bar.
I've probably seen him at Narbar. I'm at Narbar a lot. I run a Saturday show at Narbar for 8 to 10, where we just put up different comics. We select like a group and put them up there, and it's a free show. Pay what you want. If people donate, we give it all, like split it and give it to some of the comics and the people that work on it. And so don't make any money off of it, but it's happy to have like a place downtown in a prime spot and like on a prime day. So.
It's Saturday nights?
Yeah.
At the Nard Bar?
Yeah, Narbar.
No D.
Yeah, no
I haven't
D.
been there yet, obviously. I don't even know what it's called. And it starts at 8, goes till 10?
Yep.
I'll wrangle a few friends and we'll come out and watch it sometimes.
Bet.
You're running it, do you get to like kick off the show? Would we see you doing anything?
When I'm in town, yeah. It kind of stinks with the new job and stuff. I'm out of town a lot of weekends now when I'm like traveling. But I have like a team of people that I have that helps me like run it on Saturday, and they normally like help book people and like set it up or get there and like set up the mic and stuff for the show. And so because it is a show, it's not like an open mic. People can't really sign up for it.
Okay.
But it's Narbar normally does have open mics like almost every other day or every day on Friday and Saturday too at like midnight. And so it is getting to be one of like the better bar comedy spaces on 6th Street.
Are the midnight crowds good, or is it more like a lot of drunk people stumbling in? What are those crowds like?
It's mixed. Sometimes it's really good. Like you get you always get that crew of bachelors or bachelorette parties, and they're fun. They're always like yelling and talking and stuff, and it's good for crowd work. It really depends on the comics. If it's an open mic, it can be really probably like intimidating. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Tony Pepperoni or so.
Oh, yeah.
But I had him show up one time like late, like at 1:30, 1:40 in the morning. And we had been going since 8 p.m. I don't know how I ended up running it from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. that Saturday.
Bravo.
But I was like, hey, you want to go up? And I put him up at like 1:30, 1:40 in the morning. And we just had like one group of like 5, 6 people back there. And 2 or 3 of them were drunk. And like one of them, he didn't mean to. He like thought the drink was empty, but threw a drink on Tony like while he was on stage. And it does get rowdy there.
Tony.
Yeah.
He seems like such a sweet human being.
He did. The guy got up and like was apologizing, and Tony wasn't like mad about it because it was clearly an accident. Like he thought it was empty and stuff, but like that is what you have to deal with a little bit sometimes past that midnight crowd on Dirty Six. Because Dirty Six, like being from Austin, I mean now it's a lot touristy. It's always been touristy, but like it used to be kind of like where you went when you were like under 21. Like that's where like we went when we like had fake IDs and stuff.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like it's more like tourist location and like more local to go to like East and stuff like that, and then like college kids on West. I don't know. I've been to West in a while, but it used to be very collegey out there in West. Dirty is, I don't know. I don't go out on Dirty anymore, other than when I'm running a show and then I try to get home before anything happens. I've seen videos leaving Narbar. Like 10 minutes after I left, the next day I see videos of people just fighting. I'm like, I was standing right there. I'm like, Like, this happened last night. I was like, I was here like at 2:10 a.m. This video was filmed at like 2:30. I'm like, shit. I was like, man, like, oh god. And so it is. It gets rowdy out there on Dirty.
Were you a little bummed you missed the fight?
A little bit. But honestly, I'm not also because like every time you hear like I mean, once or twice a year we hear about like some type of shooting on 6th Street, and so always just want to be far away from that as possible. So.
But I don't like the going out scene as much. So even though I've been here 3 years, I haven't been to 6th Street on like a Friday or a Saturday night yet, and I feel like I have to. And I want to. I want to go out on a Friday night and see what this dirty six is that everyone's talking about. I figure it'll probably be the same as any other downtown scene for the most part. I'm like, I got to do it.
Really, East 6 now is a lot better. It might be a little bit like an older crowd, but East 6 now is kind of where it's like more. Now, if I go out now, that's where I go out with friends and stuff like that, over to like Lucky Duck and like Hotel Vegas and the stuff that's further down. Which East used to be the ghetto. Like we don't have a ghetto in Austin. We never had a ghetto in Austin. We never had like a bad area, but the bad area was like on the east side of 35 when I was growing up, and it was like now it's like, oh hey, like East 6th Street is nice. Like it's like, oh, we got a Target there. That really was like the when I was like, man, they gentrified it. When I saw a Target there, I was like, ah shit, yeah, no, because it was like it's white girl central over there now. It was they built all these apartments over there. They got rid of all these houses and just it's yep.
Yeah, yep. In summary, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Since you grew up in Austin, did the homeless population? There's a lot of jokes about the homeless. I've only been here 3 years. You've been here your whole life. Did it like quadruple at some point, or has that always been like a topic of conversation in Austin, Texas?
It seems like it like almost like I remember seeing homeless people. I live up north, like in Cedar Park area, and like I would see homeless people every now and then, like. But it would only be like the same people or the same families and stuff like that, and they'd be just on like a corner and stuff like that. And now I don't really see homeless people too much up here anymore. Now, like every now and then I do, but it like they all congregated to downtown more, and I never really went downtown too much. So we had famous homeless people like Leslie. Back in the day, we had a famous homeless tranny person back in the day. It was like or I don't know if he was transgender or I don't know what he identified himself as. This was in the 90s before anything was like set in stone.
Yeah.
I don't even know if things are set in stone now, but he was a dude that wore like a bra and a G-string and just would walk around 6th Street, and it was like not violent. Now the homeless are more with the Arch. We got a lot more that moved here. And it's more like a support city than it was, and they become a lot more violent and a lot more like reactive than they used to be. Like it used to not really bother you, or like used to be pretty nice, and now it's just a different culture. I don't know if the culture has changed or what, but it has gotten a lot worse. A few years, it's not as bad as it was maybe like 5-6 years ago. They had a law, or so they lifted any law, and people could camp anywhere. If you were selling property somewhere, people were camping on that land while it was being sold. That's when my neighborhood got like vandalized.
That's interesting. And so did they put some sort of law in place where you can only camp in certain parts of the city now?
They did some type of camping ban a few years ago. I don't really follow politics anymore. I just know that for a year or two it was bad. Like it was tents everywhere, tent city, and now it's gotten a lot better. But we still have like a homeless population, but it's no more tent cities every corner you see and everywhere you look.
Well, to any homeless people that are listening to this, because you and me both know a lot of those folks have phones. Somehow they have a phone. Be more like Leslie. Become a famous homeless person where you're thought of fondly instead of however you're currently thought of or perceived. Be more like Leslie, guys.
Yeah. You'll run into a couple nice ones every now and then. Car Wash is cool. He's a guy who washes your windows. Old man down there on 6th Street. I met him the other day.
I don't know if he was homeless or not. I think he was. But I met a guy once who came into Starbucks, and he sat next to me. And I forget if I talked to him or he talked to me first. But we ended up talking for like 2 hours. He's one of the most interesting people I ever met. I almost wanted to have him on the show, except he was in a wheelchair. And this place isn't exactly.
Yeah, it's not handy accessible here.
Maybe
not
if I
handy
had
capable.
maybe if I had a strong, tall comedian roommate, we could lift those folks up the stairs. But it's just me and Thad.
Yeah, we do lift a comedian in a wheelchair on stage sometimes.
Fuck yeah! Who is it?
Diamond Deb. She's one of the comedians. I met her at Anderson Mill, and she's been doing comedy a while. She calls it roll-up comedy. And, yeah, she's funny. I see her at Anderson Mill in downtown a whole bunch. But like if it doesn't have a ramp, we have to like lift the wheels and put her on stage there. And so had to do that a few times or so. I don't know if I've ever actually done it. I've offered sometimes. Other people are like, "We got it."
Yeah.
And,
that's very nice of you guys having each other's backs like that. That's very sweet. I love that.
Comedy accepts everybody. The scene is like always accepting as long as you don't like jerk off in a bathroom when the people open the door.
Right.
That's when we're like, all right, you got to leave.
Did that actually happen? Is that why you're using that example?
Yeah, that happened at the Creek in the Cave. Some dude was just like jerking off when you like open the door.
He's a comedian?
Or
like aspiring?
Yeah.
Someone who has done mics.
Yeah, he was just at the scene or at the mics and stuff, and he would, just a weird dude. I don't know if he's still around. I haven't seen him in like a year.
Excuse me. Why would you do that? There are so many places that you could, but I also know like some people get like a weird, or I shouldn't call it weird.
Caught.
Yeah, it's like an adrenaline
rush.
It
is weird. Yeah, we should kink shame a little bit about some things.
We're going. The line's been lifted.
Yeah, it's too degenerate nowadays. Everything is nothing's off limits anymore. But we need lines again.
One of my friends told me yesterday. So the way the conversation went was he's job hunting, and so I'm giving him some tips on his resume, and I was like, as a final touch, he's a big, jacked, handsome man. I was like, as a final touch, you should just put a picture of you shirtless on your resume, and then you'll be fine as a joke. And he was like, I've always wanted to have a picture of me naked in public somewhere. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, it's just like this weird thing. I think it'd be sort of cool. I'm like, go post it downtown. Like, it won't be the strangest thing that we've seen in Austin, Texas.
You'll just be another guy walking naked. Like, it won't be anything weird. It'll be a regular Tuesday in Austin. Like, go to Barton Springs. You'll fit in normal. People, women are walking around with their tits out in downtown all the time.
Yeah, isn't it an actual like law here, or maybe it's not a law, but like basically anyone can just be naked and you're not going to get pulled over or arrested or like you
don't have to like wear a bra or like you can just have like your tits out. It was like I remember a couple years ago they're like free the nipple or something like that, and then they passed a law where like people were complaining that like they couldn't tan and stuff like that, or you couldn't go to like pools and like just take their tops off or shit, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, and then Austin changed the laws, and now you can really go anywhere in Austin just like walking around with your tits out.
Can guys do that?
Yeah.
They can just have their dick swinging around?
Not their dick. I think you still have to have like bottoms on, but you can just have like your tops out. I think there's still public nudity for your privates down there.
Okay. All right. That makes sort of sense.
We're still a little bit.
I feel like if you can have your tits out, why can't a dude have his dick out?
I think it's not as comparable. Maybe like we should be able to have our balls out.
Have on some sort of thong where it covers the shaft, but the balls. Well, can they have their pants off? Like, can they just? Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
So it's tops off.
Yeah,
bottoms
but
on.
Men tits aren't really comparable to women tits. Even on fat guys, it's like not really the same.
Yeah, there's a different shock factor to it. Like when I went to Barton Springs for the first time, I saw a couple women walking around with their tits out. It caught me off guard just because I didn't know. I was new to the area, and we went, and I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Cool, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. And when you see a woman, you're like, oh, nice. And when you see like a fat guy, you're just like, oh, geez.
Yeah. You ever been to San Diego?
No, I've been barely out of Texas, really. Austin, Florida, and Vegas are like the three places I go to.
Does Florida or Vegas? Is Vegas is that a state that borders an ocean or no?
Vegas is in Nevada, so yeah, I think so.
Does either Vegas or Nevada, I guess, or Florida have any nude beaches, and have you ever visited them?
No. We have a nude beach here, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Hippie Hollow, Lake Travis.
You ever been?
No, I have not. I mean, I drove in a boat one time by when I was younger, and there was a dude like just tanning his sausage out in a inner tube, and we drove by him, and he just waved at us, and then I was like maybe 7 years old or so, and that's about all I saw. But apparently, it's just it's a full nude beach over there. You don't have to be nude, but it is like where a bunch of people go for that. It's a very hippie, druggy place, I'd say.
Druggy?
Not druggy, but like smoking, stuff like that.
Okay,
like,
that's fine.
yeah, no one doing like bad drugs, but it's like, I mean, it's called Hippie Hollow.
Right.
So.
I wonder if Clem, I don't know if you know, as a side job, he has his his boat driving business. He's a little captain of sorts.
Him and Gio, I see them do out on Lake Travis every now and then.
I wonder if they've ever had some people ask them to drive them to Hippie Hollow. I'll have to ask them.
It might. They normally go to Devil's Cove, though. They normally go to Devil's Cove because that's just like where the boat parties are at.
That sounds fun.
It is. If people just go link up their boats and go, you're like, hey, I got this boat, and then you just meet people and hang out.
The reason I asked about San Diego, before I forget, was me and a couple friends were out there one summer, just hanging out for a week or something, and we heard they had a nude beach, and we wanted to go check it out. And in our minds, we imagined it was going to be like hundreds of men and women in their, like college age, like 21 to like 28, and we just had this, I think some of us we were all like a mix of nervous and excited, right? Because it's like, wow, like this is gonna be crazy. That's just gonna be all these naked, hot young people. And we park, and the parking lot's on top of like not a mountain, but like a pretty steep cliff, and then you have to walk down all these stairs, and so they sort of like protected it in a sense. So if you're just driving by, you can't see all these naked people. And of course, you probably already know where this story is going. We turn the last corner, and we see the beach, and everyone there was probably like retired. We skewed that age demographic far. It was disgusting. Scarring, traumatizing.
Once you get old, you just like don't care. That's why that's why those beaches are filled with it, and it's just like the nursing home is like STD ridden now because everyone's just like fucking in nursing homes and stuff like that.
But here's the thing: tell me if I'm crazy or if you agree with me. If you were 24 and you're hanging out with your friends in Florida and you go to a nude beach, is that something you would do? Would that excite you, or would you be like, no way, Jose? Like, why was this beach not filled with college students in a town like San Diego, California?
Florida's like the only place. California and Florida would be the only place I would think would be like good for it too. I don't know. I would think going like. If somebody asked me now after knowing Hippie Hollow, I'd be like iffy about it, especially after what you told me there. Because Florida, I don't expect any better. Miami Beach is just fine. You see plenty of ass out there on Miami Beach.
Yeah, I guess it depends where you go. Like if there's a nude beach in Boca Raton, that one's going to be all just senior citizens.
Yeah.
Because that's where they hang out, right? Isn't Boca like sort of the retirement area of Florida?
Yeah, I don't go to Boca ever. I don't know.
Exactly, because you're not retired.
Yeah.
You're a young buck.
Yeah, I'm always in Miami or Fort Lauderdale. Those are the two places I go to.
Which one do you like more? Or do you like them for different reasons?
I haven't really been to Miami as an adult to like party or anything. I would always go there as a kid. Now I go more to Fort Lauderdale because of the Hard Rock Casino, and my dad would get like free rooms, and so I'd just go there and hang out in the casino, gamble, and been liking Fort Lauderdale better, but Miami would be where I spent like more growing up. I'd like to go more as an adult and get to like experience it more again, or get to like do the clubs and stuff like that in Miami. I don't know. I'd be a little bit scared to do it also. It seems kind of crazy, the Strip.
I heard Miami, I only heard this from one person, so I'm curious what your take is on this. Miami is like a place where people like to go to show off. Like, even if they don't have money, they'll rent the car. They're like, it's a very, almost like everyone appears that they're rich. Now, whether they are or not is a different story. But is that true?
Very. Same in Fort Lauderdale. Like, it's always image. It's all image there. Like big, fast, shiny cars, big asses, like BBLs. There's Gucci, everything, like high-end brands. It's very much much more imagey than Austin. Like Austin isn't very imagey, but there is like how you look and stuff like that is very flexy and flashy.
BBLs?
Brazilian butt lifts.
Oh, I was like big. You know where my mind went? I was like big black legs.
No.
All these black women who just all they do is legs.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what a BBL is, a little bit. It's just you're skipping the workout part. You're just like, let me get right to the results. Like, you're on the right path.
Yeah. Do you like it though? I mean, it sounds like you do because you've been multiple times, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've never was able to like buy flashy stuff growing up, and then like once I got my own money and stuff, like I was luckily like in a living condition where I was able to buy like name brands and stuff like that, and so I'm a little bit okay with the flashiness. Now I'm a little bit older. I don't really do it as much, but I still have a bunch of stuff, and like I'm still have a little bit of that in me. I'd say where I like wear Jordans or like. I mean, Supreme's dead now, but I still have a bunch of Supreme and stuff like that from back in the day.
Yeah, you don't seem. I mean, granted, seen you. You know, your 5 episodes on Kill Tony, but even today, like, you don't seem like a flashy person. You're wearing a shirt from your local gym. Got some camo shorts on. You don't seem like the kind of guy who is like material driven.
Not really. I'm not really somebody that wants to be like super rich or anything like that. I'm just trying to be comfortable. Like,
What do you want out of life? Here's a big question for you. With where you sit now, like in the next couple years, what would make Sean happy?
like to just make an impact on like other people, have people like remember me a little bit past my death. Like, because I mean, a lot of times, like once you live life, do a whole bunch of things, but once you die, then you're just forgotten pretty fast. And so I'd like to have like a legacy almost, and I don't know, legacy is the right word, but just like be remembered.
What do you want to be remembered for? Like if your funeral was tomorrow, which fingers crossed, you're fine, you're healthy. What would you want to be remembered for? Specifically, I know you said impacting people's lives, but what would make you happy to hear people say?
Being just like a good, funny person, having people like my comedy, and thinking that I was like a good person that had like moral values, I guess, or so. Just look back fondly and like knowing me and like stuff like that. I don't really know. Honestly, I guess just that's all I can really think of, because I don't really think like, I don't know. I believe in God and stuff, but I don't really think anything matters too much. Like if the world ended tomorrow, or if an asteroid came and hit us, nothing in the history of mankind would have mattered.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's nihilistic a little bit, but I'm also like, I don't know, it's a little bit of like stoicism. I'm big on like stoicism and like being, just trying to live the best life you can and to be the best man you can, or just be moralistic and stuff like that, but not fearing death or anything like that, and not being afraid to live, kind of. And so that kind of, it's hard to kind of really think of a goal when I don't really think like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Okay, but
when I was listening to where'd his name go? Nathan Apollo before you got here. Do you remember? Have you heard yet off the newer album, the one track where he's talking about like, so he starts sort of talking about like how he doesn't want to die alone, and then he switches it, and he's talking about how he wants to be the last person of his friends to die because he doesn't want them to have to go through the pain of missing him. And he was like, so I guess maybe I do want to die alone because I want to be the last person that I love to pass. And it's very, dude, it's very sweet. I was not expecting that, and he sort of stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, yeah, I sort of want that for my life.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that like the pain of like you leaving impacts a lot of people. I feel like your family and friends and stuff, and I've seen my family be very affected by like their family members leaving, and how it affected me and stuff like that, and friends losing parents and stuff like that, and how it's something that is it's not just like when you lose, you don't lose just yourself. It's like everybody loses something.
Yeah. Speaking of stoicism, look, you ever seen this book?
I was listening to Ryan Holiday a little bit. I think my ex got me that book, actually. And I was like, is that the one where you read it one a day, or?
Yeah, like today's was super. I'm not going to read it or anything, but I'll just show you. Like today's was really short. It was this one right here. So I was able to read it in like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I took a picture of it actually and texted the picture to a friend, and then I sent him a little voice note, and I was like, this is what I got from this page, what about you, what do you think? And so I'll share it with some friends sometimes, just to like have a little conversation about it versus it just being in my own head. But some of them, dude, like some of them are either longer or they have, it's like so dense, I almost have to take the entire thing, type it into ChatGPT, and then be like, can you tell me what this means?
Yeah.
Like, because they'll use words that I'm just like, what the fuck am I reading right now?
Especially in the original like meditations, too, or by Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
It's very, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'd have to. It took me so long to like read through that book because I'd have to like read that paragraph again before I would like understand sometimes with the way they would write stuff. But it definitely I feel like changed how like I see the world and my perception of everything. I'm reading the 48 Laws of Power now, or listening to it on audiobook, and I'm like, this is the opposite. This is like the narcissist handbook on how to be a shitty human being.
Is it really?
Yeah.
In what way? I haven't read it yet, but I have a friend who, I have several friends who are reading it right now, so that's funny you're bringing this up. Give us sort of like a pitch on.
It's like if you have a mentor and that mentor falters, like put him down so you can rise above, or like use him as a stepping stone. Never let people know your intentions. Like use other people's intentions to further your own intentions without telling them that. It was like don't. I mean, some of the rules are, some of them all are like common sense. Like don't step on the toes of somebody above you, stuff like that. Don't overshow. Like don't like upshow other people that are above you. I think I'm on like law 17, and I'm just like, man, this is very like narcissistic, like not moral, I guess, or just like it is like a way to gain power and like go above people, I guess, or like, but you do it in a seedy, shady way that isn't like authentically like. I don't know what is authentic, you know?
Yeah.
Everything's black and white. And so, but it's just, to me, I'm like, this is not, it's the opposite of stoicism. Instead of being like a good moral person, it's like, do everything you can in the pursuit of power, even if it is like being evil.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good book for people who want to be good at sales.
Yeah, it is.
Because I've been in a salesy environment right before COVID. And the job ended because of the pandemic. We had a team of about, I think, 167 of us. And by the time they were done with layoffs, they were down to 12. Like, the fucking place got eradicated.
Damn.
But, dude, in a way, like, at first I was upset because it was the pandemic. Now I don't have a job. The world is burning. I felt like you ever seen the meme of the dog who's in the kitchen and the kitchen's on fire? And he's,
this is fine.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But looking back on it, I'm like, thank God I got out of that place, because dude, I'm not a backstabby person by nature, and I'm not saying all sales environments are like that, but this one was definitely like, if you want to get ahead, you sort of got to throw your coworkers onto the bus, you got to be a little bit shady, and you truly just got to only care about yourself and not care about anyone else. And I'm not that's just not me. I'm not that person.
That's kind of why I left AT&T, because that's how they tried to put me into a position like that and have me just like scam your grandmother and like trick people into sales and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. And plus, I didn't believe in the company. And so I'm doing sales now, but it's like I'm selling pictures. And it's like, it's easy to sell a picture of somebody. You know, like, oh, you want a picture of yourself? All right, there you go. You want a picture of your kid? Da-da-da, there you go. And like, oh, hey, da-da-da. It's easy. And so it's, you don't have to like be super pushy, like car salesmen and stuff like that. And so it's, definitely is a good handbook for those people, though. I think it is kind of just don't worry about other people. Don't worry if you screw people over. Just like get what you want.
I have a friend who's almost like paranoid about people thinking he's narcissistic. I almost want to buy him this book and put a little sticky note on the front and say, hey, John, this is so you can lean into your narcissism over the next couple months. He would fucking hate that.
Yeah, but then see if he reads it, though. You'd have to wonder if he reads it, though.
He might. I don't know. I really don't.
I don't know, because it was one thing I feel like I'm reading it now, and I recognize other people that use these types of patterns and like these types of like actions, kind of, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of recognize it a little bit, or like see see it now in action. I think that's a good way that, like, Ryan Holiday even, like, mentioned it in, like, something that he read about that book, and he was like, it's not a terrible book. It's a guidebook on how to handle these types of people. And I'm like, that's a good way to look at it, but the book literally tells you to do these things. And it's like, you do this, you do this. And it's like, so it's like, it's a good way, because I listened, somebody was like, you need to listen to what Ryan Holiday had to say about it. And I did, and I was like, I see what he means, and it is like, you can use it as a handbook that way, but the way it is actually read to you is telling you, like, you need to do these actions, like, you need to follow this, and you will gain power, which is dangerous for just giving that. They're telling basically, like, it's just teaching people to be a narcissist.
Yeah. I had you ever heard of the Children of God?
I feel like I have.
It's so before they were known, they were just like a Christian organization of sorts. But now that the leader died, and a bunch of people have come forward and told their stories, it was basically like a sex cult. But what was crazy was the original founder, he had 186,000 people that he brought into this umbrella of the Children of God. And I've always wondered, like if there is someone some people might hate that I'm about to say this, hate me all you want. I would love to interview this guy.
Yeah.
He's dead now, but could you imagine, like, I wonder, like, was he super corrupt? Like, was he someone who would take, maybe he never read the book, but did he sort of find out for himself, like, this is what I have to do to be at the top and to also stay at the top, so there's no one that wants to, like, dethrone him, before he passed away. But I think someone like that would be really fascinating to sit down with if they were willing to be honest,
Yeah, that's the thing about it is, like, I feel like anybody like that you sit down with won't sit down for their own, like, intentions or so, like, or they only sit down if it furthers their intentions somehow, or so, like, they may not be truthful. I don't know. Now I have, like, a skewed outlook of power. I feel like I'm like, oh, hey, you can't get into power unless you're a shitty person. And so I'm like, before I was like, oh, yeah, no. I guess work at a company and work your way up and, like, climb the ladder and stuff like that. I'm like, no, to do that, you got to be a bad person. And you got to be okay with, like, cutting people's jobs and, like, just, like, doing things that are only good for, I mean, I guess it's needed for companies and corporations to survive, but it's, like, doing things that are just for profit and for making shareholders happy, not for, like, your employees or for your customers and stuff like that, which it seems like the way companies are moving towards, kind of, instead of, like, the customer is always right is not, like, really a saying anymore.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one in a while.
It's now it's like you get what you get. You don't throw a fit, basically.
Yeah. I've met a few executives, and they've never been people where I'm like, man, I want to be friends with this person.
Yeah.
I've never had that reaction when I've met someone at the top, so to speak.
It's almost like they don't want to give you the time unless you're gonna help them make money or something when you're up, like, that far up. It's like the only time I'm gonna give to people is if they can make me money, or it's like family or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's almost transactional once you get up to, like, that level of money. I feel like every time you interact with those people, it has to be, like, transactional.
You mentioned, we sort of talked about God a little bit. We mentioned nihilism. We mentioned Scientology. We mentioned Stoicism.
Yeah.
Are you a religious person at all, or do you have any kind of, like, anything that, like, that's sort of a North Star to you or anything like that?
I identify as, like, a non-denominational Christian, I'd say. I think that, like, I could be wrong. I believe that there's, like, I don't believe that anybody really knows. I think the three big monotheistic religions a lot of them are based off of each other or based off of one of them, and they get kind of split. And your religion is 99% time determined by where you're born.
Yeah.
And your culture growing up into it. And so I think I believe in a Christian God, but I don't know, like, if everything from the Bible is, like, true or exaggerated stories, stuff like that. Yeah, have you ever tried to catch a fox?
No.
I mean, try to catch 300. It's fucking impossible. Can't do it. And so there's just some things that, like I am Christian, but I'm like, I think God is, like, a righteous, just God, like what Stoicism says, that if a God is righteous and just, they're worth following, and they'll, like, judge you based on the contents of your character. But if you have to follow a strict rule set and stuff like that, and it's not like a righteous and just God and one not worth following, stuff like that. And but I don't think anybody is damned to hell because they're like born in a different culture.
Yeah, that with all the different religions, that's it. It was. I think I was talking with Isaac about this, but I was like, it's funny because someone's going to be wrong, or maybe all of them are, because you have all these major. How many major religions are there in the world? Like 5, 10? I feel like there's probably like if you take Christianity and all of its subchapters, like Protestant versus Catholic versus, they're all reading the same book for the most part.
I clump Christians in with Catholics almost, honestly, too.
Either all of them are going to be wrong, but at most only one of them is going to be right.
Yep. And nobody really knows, and that's what I'm saying, is if it's like a righteous God, these people are born just being taught this growing up, nothing else. A lot of people are like born into the church. People are like growing up the entire lives, and they don't know anything else. They don't even have a chance to like learn other cultures and learn other religions and stuff. And so I think it's if God is righteous and just, it's like he may be a Christian God. That's the one I grew up believing in, and so that's just kind of like why I believe in it. But I think if I was born in like a Muslim country, I'd believe that would be my God or so.
Right.
And so I think if I was born in a Muslim country and believed that or so, if I still was a righteous, just person and I was wrong, I'd go to heaven the same way. If I think I'm wrong and I believe in the Christian God, that I'd still, I don't know if Muslims believe in a heaven or if it's some type of different afterlife or not, but I'd still go there if I'm wrong, if it's still a righteous and just God. But I don't know, that may piss off religions. I know that a lot of other religions won't see it the same way or so, but
I'm going to do a quick fact check. If it's a short answer, I'll read it. But so Muslims, yes, they do have a concept of heaven, and the word translates to literally meaning garden or paradise. It is internal for those that believe in Allah. For people who live righteously according to their teachings, it's a lot of peace, joy, and complete fulfillment, free from pain, death, or sadness. So almost like the exact same as the Christian heaven.
And so that's what I'm thinking is like somewhere everything just got split. No one really knows what's right. We believe different things of different ways a story was told. If we're all wrong that there is no religion, then it doesn't matter. Once we die, we're gone. And so if that happens, then it happens. But it was like, that's not the outlook that I hope for, kind of, or the outlook that I like believe in, or so. I like hope there's more, but if there's not, then there's not at the end of the day.
Do you buy into nihilism at all?
I mean, I think there's a possibility of it, but like I don't really like seeing life in a negative way like that. I try to be positive more.
Yeah. Yeah, in some ways, I buy into it a little bit, but it also, like, when I was reading on it, because I had a guy on probably 10 or 20 episodes ago who's a huge nihilist, I guess you would call them, or he would call himself, and I feel like there's, like, a dark frame to it. It's almost like a negativity to it, and I was like, it's sort of sad.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like life is, like, almost a little bit pointless, and it's like, well, it's not.
Yeah.
Like
well, like I said, I believe a little bit of it. Like if the world ended tomorrow, nothing could matter really in like our history.
Right.
But like if we do go up to heaven, then like, oh hey, our souls still matter, but nothing on the earth would matter. That's where I buy into a little bit of it, but it is like negative to it. Like it also like people, you can use it to justify doing whatever you want.
Are you still this is sort of off topic, sort of not. Are you still California sober, I guess, as they would call it?
Yeah.
How long has it been now?
I mean, I've had a sip of alcohol on like my birthday, or like my buddy bought like a round of shots at like a game once, or like when we were watching sports, and I was like, yeah, sure, and I'll do that, but like I don't drink anymore, like go out and like get drinks or get beers. But just smoking has been my biggest thing. I smoke a lot. Sometimes I'll do mushrooms every now and then, but it's been don't really feel the need to drink anymore. Like I don't ever feel like the want for it anymore. Because I used to kind of like binge and overdrink when I would drink.
Yeah.
And now it's like I just don't even want to order it anymore. The only time I have has been when I was like on a date or so, and like she ordered a drink, and I was like, oh, I'd like to get a beer or try out their beers on tap here and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm like, maybe I'll go back to it, but I'm still like worried about my health and just trying to cut alcohol and stuff like that.
Would you say for the audience, sorry in advance, but would you say the white poop, was that actually like, did that on Kill Tony, it was a very lighthearted conversation.
Yeah.
But was that like a scary moment for you?
That was very scary for me because I was like, holy shit. And I went to the doctor and she was like, honestly, if it just happened once, like, don't be too worried. If it keeps happening, like, be worried. But
Wow.
she was like, it just happened once. It happened a lot after you drank a lot that night. And you were drinking a lot of like seltzers and stuff like that. And so she was like, I got my blood work done. And they were like, everything seems to be all right. And I kept going to the doctor, getting checkups and stuff, and seems to be okay. Take like probiotics and stuff, and just don't drink anymore. And so I'm hoping to like heal my liver or so, or like make it. I know I damaged it probably, or imagining I damaged it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I'm 28. I'm hoping I can bounce back.
Yeah, I during COVID I started drinking a lot, and I went to the doctor once too to get a physical and get some blood work done. Partly also just because I hadn't been to a doctor in like 5 years. I was like, I have health insurance, I may as well use it. And I thought for sure they were going to tell me something like, you're dying. And he was like, no, everything's fine. He said there is something that was a little bit high, but he said it was probably just dehydration. So he was like, if you just get more consistent with how much water you drink, that will level out by the time you come back next year. So I was like, all right. So I've been trying to drink two of these things every day.
Yeah,
and I think
you gotta hydrate.
this guy's a 64 ouncer. And when I do, man, when I get through this twice a day, I do see like a significant difference. I feel pretty good.
Feel better? Yeah. I feel like I drink like a ton of sparkling waters throughout the day. I just go through like almost like 4 or 5 of those sometimes.
Yeah.
And, but I heard the bubbles aren't good for you. It can cause like kidney stones or something drinking a bunch of them.
You know, I've heard mixed reviews on this because I also went down an internet rabbit hole once trying to find out, and I couldn't really find anything from a reputable source that said that they were bad for you. Most of them said it was hydrating you just as fine as water does, which I have a hard time believing that because when I drink 2 of those, I feel good. I don't feel bad after a Waterloo, but I don't feel the same as when I get through half of just a normal water either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something. It got me to quit soda, or the sparkling sodas. That's how I lost a lot of the weight, was just quitting soda and drinking those instead.
Yeah, same thing, dude. I haven't had a soda in years, probably since before the pandemic. And now when I do try it, I'm so used to sparkling waters with no sugar that like one time I got like a root beer at Chipotle or something because root beer was my favorite soda. It almost tasted disgusting.
It's like too sweet now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel a little bit. I mean, I still like root beer. I'll get root beer now, but I don't get Dr. Pepper as often as I used to. It was what I used to get a bunch.
I used to work for an accounting firm, and we were about 150 people in the office. And every Monday morning, think about this, every week, once a week, we would get a pallet of sodas dropped off at the office. It was probably like this high off the ground, and you know how big a pallet is, so it was probably like, I don't know, 40 12 packs. And between everyone, dude, we'd get it to the office sometimes like during tax season when we were working longer hours, and it would be 6 in the morning. And at all the different cubicles, I would start hearing that sound of the can cracking open. And all those fucking accountants were drinking their first Dr. Pepper of the day. And I was just like, Jesus, at 6 in the morning? Just go grab some coffee. Like, that's disgusting. I was still drinking soda too, but I'm just like, man.
It's too early.
Yeah, 6 root beer at 6 a.m.? Really?
The office replaced Coke with Coke. Like,
Yeah.
Because in the 80s, it was a key bump doing that before and stuff. And now, in the 2000s, it just became soda and sugar. Now it's energy drinks. They got 5,000 different energy drinks brand at the gas station now.
You know what I think is crazy is all like the 14-year-olds at my gym who are popping their energy drinks before they get to the gym. And I'm just like, you don't.
Yeah. It's too much caffeine in these now. I started drinking Red Bulls because these like 200, 300 milligram caffeine energy drinks. I'm like, you can't have like 2 a day when it's 300 milligrams in one energy drink. I'm like, you can't. That's the only drink I'm drinking all day for caffeine. I can't have like a Red Bull in the morning or one in the middle of the day. It's like that's what I can do with Red Bull because Red Bull is only like 60, 70 milligrams of caffeine. But I try not to go over 400 milligrams a day if I like my max. So.
Yeah, I'm about one. I try to stick to 1 cup of coffee today. And then when you said you were going to have one, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little groggy. It's Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. So I had some too. But yeah, man, I have one buddy who he told me he's up to about 1,000 milligrams a day. And he's noticed like he's just starting to shake more. He feels anxious all the time. He's like, you think it could be the caffeine? And it's like, well,
Yeah.
maybe. You have a pretty good life. Like, you don't, at this current stage of life, he doesn't have a lot to be stressed about. Good family, good girlfriend. He's relatively healthy. He has money in his account. I'm like, if you're physically shaking throughout the day, it's probably the 1,000 milligrams of caffeine that you're taking.
Yeah, too much. It's almost like a standard now that people are just like surviving on caffeine. It's like a more and more normal now. Like instead of just coffee, there's so many different ways to do caffeine now.
Yeah.
But it's that's the thing. Red Bull, when Red Bull came out, and Monster, I think they don't have like 200 plus milligrams in them. I think they have like 60, 70, 80 milligrams, which is.
And that's good. It's just it's a nice little bump to
Yeah.
get you through the rest of your day.
For me, that's why I'll buy 2 like the 12-ounce Red Bulls. I think that's like 120 in each of them, and so normally like 250 milligrams a day now is what I'm getting on now. Or I'll have like my energy drink, which is like 200 in one scoop, and then I'm like, all right, now I'm done for the day. I'm not gonna have another one. Or
Yep.
it's I think it's bad for you. They say studies are saying it's bad for your heart. So.
It's probably not good for it. I'm no doctor, but I felt better since I've cut mine back. The main one I cut out was probably about a year and a half ago now. I stopped taking pre-workout. I like my coffee in the morning. There's something about that tradition of waking up and having a hot cup of coffee. It's just the best way to start the day. But I typically work out at like 6 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
I noticed I wasn't sleeping well. And I was like, what could possibly be the problem? Maybe the 300 milligrams of caffeine I take 4 hours before I go to bed.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that could be it.
Yep. I don't fall asleep till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning a lot of the time because like I don't get to the gym till like 8, 9, 10 p.m. sometimes. I had the gym 9 p.m. last night. So.
Is that because you're working at night though?
Well, it was because I was working like or like I'd try to go after the mics if I'm not working tomorrow. If I'm like off on like a Wednesday or something, how my schedule was, or if I just wasn't gonna work the next day, I'd like try to like go at like midnight instead of like going to bed early and going in the morning. I don't know why I never just go to bed early and go in the morning. I'm always like, oh, let me go here at midnight. I went at 3 in the morning one time the other week. That was actually nice, and then I just stayed up the rest of the day. Felt productive.
You're like my buddy Tyler. He wants to get his sleep schedule a little bit more normal, but he works for himself, so he could if he wanted to, wake up at 7, 8, 9, go to bed at 9, 10, 11, 12. But this motherfucker claims that he does his best thinking at night, so he'll stay up and work till like 3 in the morning and then go to bed and get up at noon. I'm just like, dude, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's maybe just because I've never done it. It seems wild to me. It works for him.
It may be like a thing with, I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to do that playing video games and just watching TV. And so I think my sleep schedule has been like that permanently. I'd try to like not go to bed and just play video games all night. We get like 6, 7 in the morning. I'm like, I can't keep going. I'd be like having to go to bed when I was like my junior year of high school and stuff like that. And so probably just relates now to an adult because I get home and I'm like, man, I need to go to bed. And then like just find myself at like 3, 4 in the morning, like, yeah, I need to go to bed.
How do you feel though in general? Like, do you feel pretty rested most of the time, or do you feel like you're tired a lot of the time?
Today I feel a little bit tired, but that's because I like had a dentist appointment at 11, and so even though I went to bed at like 4 in the morning, I had to like wake up early.
You gotta get up early, 10
yeah.
o'clock.
But now I've been getting more 8 hours in. I was only getting like 6 hours in on average when I was working at AT&T. I'd get home like midnight from like doing comedy, and I'd still have to make dinner. And by the time I make dinner and like eat and shower, it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I gotta wake up at like 8:30 for work. And then also a lot of times like I get home and like I want to wind down, watch TV, relax, play a game, do something like that. Because it's like when I was working at AT&T, it's like wake up, I clock in at 8:30, I wake up at like 8:28. And I wake up, alarm's going off, pop up immediately, go clock in, and then go back and lay in bed for 15 minutes because I was fucking off at the job, and no one said anything to me for a year, even though I was supposed to be clocking in and working for those 15 minutes. And they didn't give me shit. No, they didn't care, or I don't know. It's a huge $1 billion company, and so I'd go back, lay back down for 15 minutes and work, clock out, either go hit the gym or immediately go to Mike's, and then come home and have to eat, and then either go right to bed or have some time to like relax and watch TV. But then it's 2, 3 in the morning when I'm going to bed. Now I'm getting like 5 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep, and so it was a lot like 6 4-hour sleeps for a while here. I'm trying to get 8 hours back in, and even though the thing is, I wake up normally after like 6 hours now, and I don't feel rested, and I go back to sleep, and I think that's not getting me good sleep right now. Like I want to just get 8 hours in, but it's tough. Now on the weekends I wake up like at 5 and 4 in the morning, so like I don't even know if I'm asleep tonight because I got a 13-hour drive tomorrow to Tennessee, or I'm not driving, but I'm just riding in a van, and so I may just sleep in the van and get my 8 hours in there because. I might as well. I'm getting paid to sit in the van, so.
Who are you going to Tennessee with?
The new job I got with it's like a photography company. We go to like sporting events and take pictures of like it's like kids sporting teams when they have like big old like state events. So it's like 100+ teams or like huge a bunch of people there, and we go take pictures of the teams and try and sell the pictures to like the parents. And so it makes pretty decent money, honestly. Like
cool.
And it's easy sales. That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, you want these pictures? Like, oh, hey, and it sells themselves. It's not really like, oh, yeah, I gotta push the photos on you.
Yeah.
Half the time I'm walking around with the photos and people call me over. So.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, hopefully that'll help you. Maybe that'll, in and of itself, will help you start sleeping a little bit better. Is actually doing a job that's a little bit more in alignment with who you are.
Yeah. Well, I only work Friday, Saturday, Sunday really about those, and Fridays mainly just generally travel. And then Saturday and Sunday is the days I really work, where I'm just taking photos and selling photos. And then the rest of the week I'm off now. Which I think for my area in comedy, or for being like 2 years into the stand-up comedy thing, I think is good. Because it's going to allow me to like try and like do maybe comedy in other cities. Like I need to be, people tell me I need to use the Kill Tony thing in the Big Joke Book more to like be like, oh, hey, I have a big joke book when I go to other cities to try and get booked. But I don't know. I try not to like brag about. I don't know. I don't really see it. Like, I guess it's a real big thing outside of Austin, but now once you get on it and then stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. We all sign up for it. It's just signing up and getting pulled out of a bucket. It's not like I did anything too special or anything, I feel like.
Is that an actual thing in other cities where if you tell the booking agent or whoever the manager of the club is that you have a big joke book from Kill Tony, you have a like better chance of them being like, oh yeah, we'll have Sean on?
I've been told that when I've gone to Vegas and stuff. Like people like tell me like use that as like a bargaining chip to get booked and stuff. Like tell people that, and I just normally don't. Like I normally just message people. And it's on my profile. If people look at my profile, you see it. But I don't know. I would like to try and have just like. I guess me speak for myself. I try not to like use that or so. And I don't know. Maybe I should. I need to follow the laws of power more.
Well, that one doesn't seem like it's too bad. It's not like you're compromising your integrity or anything. You're just sort of telling them like, hey, this is a thing I did, and yeah, maybe that's something you could work on. That doesn't seem like a bad one.
Yeah. No, I need to definitely probably do it more. I don't know. I try not to like brag about it because I just don't see it as like too crazy special anymore. Maybe because being on 5 times too.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you need to get better at puffing that pigeon chest out.
Yeah.
This is what I've done. Let me in.
I gotta be on steroids next time I get pulled. I gotta be like 200. I gotta be 220 pounds next time I get pulled again, but like all muscle now.
And dress better, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Every time I'm on it, there's something with my outfit. Last time they didn't mention anything. Last time I had somebody message me about the shirt I was wearing, and now the company brought the shirt back. Somebody messaged me and was like, "Where'd you get that shirt?" And I told them the brand, and then they messaged the brand, and the brand like was like, "Oh, we're gonna bring the shirt back," and started selling the shirt again. And I was like, "Oh, did I do that?" I was like,
"Look at you, look at you, baby."
I messaged the brand, and I was like, "Hey, I wear a ton of your clothes. Would you guys want to like collab sometime or do something like that?" They didn't message or follow me back, but the woman that messaged me about the shirt, they followed her back. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Dude, that's like one time I got a T-shirt from this cancer company, and I posted a picture on Instagram, and I tagged them, and they sent me a message, and they were like, "Hey, why'd you buy that shirt?" And I told them about a story of when one of my aunts and also one of my colleagues passed away from cancer. And in their original message, they were like, "If you're okay with it, we would love to take this picture and use it as like a thing on our Instagram page." So I wrote back, I told them the story, I sent them the picture. I was like, "Yeah, use it. I don't care, whatever." And I wasn't even doing it for like to get noticed or anything, but I was just like, fuck it, like use it if you want to. And about a month or two later, I realized, I was like, oh, did they ever use that? So I went over to their Instagram page, and they didn't. And I was like, well, I guess my aunt's cancer story wasn't good enough for you. It wasn't tragic enough to make your fucking Instagram page.
No, they may have you on like an ad or something.
Maybe.
I'm always worried about like doing like a photo shoot for something where they can like use your ads or something like that, and then you end up being on like one of those like HIV medicine posters or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, I've seen you on that poster before. I always feel bad for like about some of those commercials about like living with diarrhea, take this medicine. Like, do they tell that guy that like he's doing that commercial, or is like, hey, we're just gonna shoot you hanging out with your granddaughter and on the beach and stuff, and then we're gonna post a diarrhea commercial over it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And so I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm always scared of like doing a photo or something like that. I have tried going out and done some like random acting for extra work and stuff like that, and I'm still waiting for like to see that come out. So
Did you get that email from Gold's probably in the last 2 or 3 months that invited like all their members in the Austin area to a photo shoot?
no.
Oh, maybe they didn't want, I'm
Yeah, man, I'm not big enough, damn it.
I got the email, and I was just like, man, there's no way I'm going to this. Partly for the reasons you just said, but partly because that the kind of person that's going to show up to this, it's going to be all the alpha males
And
all
influencers.
the alpha ladies and all the influencers. I'm like, that's going to be a room full of douchebags is what that's going to be.
Yeah, Gold's is a lot of like Gold's is the most like influencery, like grungy gym of like the mainline gyms, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Like you have like Lifetime, Planet, and all those, but all of those are more like they culture it away from like Jim Big Goal, yeah, Arnold, and like Gold's tries to have that like more grungy feel.
Excuse
But
me.
no worries. The actual grungy gyms are like the small gyms here in Austin. Those are like the ones that are like, there's some gyms I've gone to here, and it's like you can't walk around without running into a tripod, and I'm like, this is annoying. And I was like, everyone's recording themselves. I'm like, I don't know. I take the pictures in the gym, but I try to like not have anybody in it and try to like worry about it. Other people don't even don't give a fuck, but like it's I hate the very influencery stuff, but hey, people make money off of it.
The one I imagine would probably be the worst, and I probably shouldn't say this because I've never been there, but have you heard of Alpha Land out of Houston?
No, I don't. No, not Alpha Land. I've heard about it, but I haven't been there.
It's just a single location, and dude, I imagine I was like, I would probably hate that
The name
gym
of it is just
because
very douchey.
Yeah, just the name in and of itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that sounds like Gold's on steroids.
Yeah. Well, we got Lyft ATX here, which like it's like $50 a month. Like Gold's, I pay like $30 a month, I think, and they got multiple locations I can go to. Lyft has like, it's a cool. You're paying for the vibe there. You're
Yes.
paying because all the weights are like old and rusty. Like I took a photo there one time, and my uncle who got out of prison like recently messaged me. He's like, "Are you working out in a jail?"
Yeah.
I was like, "No, like that's the ambiance I'm paying extra for."
Yeah.
Like honestly, I ended up buying like a guest pass they have for like $60 or something that lets me go 10 times because I was going like once a week, and so I was like, honestly, that's better for me than $50 a month. But that's like one of the biggest like influencer type gyms. It's cool, but it's like you can't walk around without running into somebody with a tripod.
One of my buddies just asked me a day or two ago if I would go there with him. He's like, "You want to just get a guest pass and check it out?" And I was like, "We can." I don't think either of us are gonna like it very much, but we can.
Right? It's just an open warehouse. Like it's just a warehouse that doesn't have doors and a bunch of old workout equipment. It's got a good vibe. Like sometimes it makes you work out better in that environment, like that grungy.
Yeah.
Like somebody might drop a weight on my head. Like
Yeah. He wants to go there specifically so he can take his shirt off.
Yeah,
Like,
that is one thing.
I want to go work out shirtless. He's like, you can't do that at Gold's.
Uh-uh.
You can get pretty close. You can take a t-shirt, cut off like the majority of it, have your chest out, but he wants to go full shirtless. So I was like, all right, John, this is the same one who is afraid of people calling him a narcissist. And he's telling me he wants to go work out somewhere where he can take his shirt off. But I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's go take our shirts off, get a good workout in, maybe wait a month when it's not 90 degrees out. But
yeah. I think Gold's is honestly kind of sexist because they didn't let me work out in a maid's outfit once.
A maid?
Like a sexy maid outfit.
Was it Halloween, Sean?
It was a day before Halloween.
And they said no?
Yeah.
Why?
They were like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, this is sexist. If I was a woman, I probably could do this. But, you know.
What was the... Give me more specifics. How, like, what was it showing off or not showing off? What was this
It was just very short, I mean, I had underwear on and stuff, so you couldn't see my ass, but it was just like a skirt and like the straps here, like a slutty maid outfit from Halloween. I was at a friend's house the night before, and like I forgot I was gonna be like a toga guy, but I accidentally grabbed pillowcases, not a bed sheet, and so I was like, oh, what costumes do you have in your house? And she's like, I got a slutty maid outfit. I was like, oh, I can fit into it. It fits. Let's go. And so I woke up still kind of drunk the next day, and I was like, I will go to the gym. And me and my buddy drove me to the gym, and he was like, I'm gonna record you trying to go in there. And we went in, tried to work out, and they're like, yeah, no, you got to change. I'm like, well, oh, god dang it.
Well, let's put him on blast. What location was this?
This was up north. It was the Lakeline one, off of Lakeline.
This is very surprising to me. I'm very just the day before Halloween.
I know. I thought
you're
it would be
not
funny.
really showing anything off. Just let the guy fucking work out.
It was very funny walking into the bathroom though, just walking past everybody and everyone looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because they were like, no, you got to go change. And I was like, well, I'm gonna change in the bathroom. And so I just had to walk through the gym because the bathroom's in the back at this location.
Yep.
So I had to walk all the way through, and a few people saw me that I know and talked to there, and they're like, no fuck. And so I literally on the way to the bathroom, I stop and have 5, 6, 7 minute conversations with people or so, and then finally go change. But yeah, damn, screw you, Golds. You didn't let me work out in a damn maid outfit.
Yeah, that's crazy. One of my buddies, he wants to work out on Halloween. He doesn't have an outfit picked out for himself, but he wants me to go as Bane, which I feel like is a very high compliment. But he's like, dude, you're bald, you have big traps, all you got to do is get the accent down and you're good to go.
Yeah. You got to get the mask and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it. Just because, I don't know, spend $80 on something I'm going to wear once.
Yeah.
We'll see. I used to love Halloween.
Halloween is expensive.
Yeah, dude, and then you got Thanksgiving, and then you got Christmas. Christmas ain't cheap either.
Yeah, I normally make my own costume now, really, honestly. I was a guy from Stranger Things one year, which was just blue jeans and a wife beater.
Which guy? Wait, let me guess. Billy?
Yeah, I had a mullet back then.
Yeah, you went as Billy to Halloween one year?
Yeah, I just put it on a wife beater. I had a mullet, and I shaved the rest of it. I just had a little mustache there, and it was easy, it's cheap. And then that's when I started wearing wife beaters.
Is that the picture you had? Did you post a picture of Billy?
Yeah, I had a little rabbit on my shoulder, I think.
I think I remember seeing that one. I didn't think it was Billy though, because you had 2 pictures posted, and one was you in the outfit, and then if you swiped, the next one looked like a anime character of sorts.
Oh,
do you know what
that
picture
was
I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was when I cosplayed as Yami from Black Clover. I went to the Austin Comic Con at the HEB Center, which was, honestly, I don't know, maybe I need to go to a better Comic Con. That was very boring to me. Comic Con was just, hey, come and buy stuff. I thought there was going to be people talking or events and stuff like that, but it was literally just a bunch of vendors selling shit.
Yeah, this might sound judgy, and if it does, I'm sorry. But I have some friends that go nuts for Comic-Con every year, and I'll see, that's sort of been my impression from their pictures, is it looks like it's just a bunch of booths, and you get to get dressed up. I don't really get it, but
yeah.
I need to go to one so I can actually experience it for myself.
I think maybe the one downtown is better in the convention center, I've been told, but the one in the HEB Center, they didn't really have any events or any people speaking or anything like that, or normally when I see cons I think of people having panels or have stuff like that, but this was just, hey, walk around and there's a bunch of different vendors selling nerdy shit. I was like, And then you can also talk to the other people in cosplay and stuff. And yeah, I was like, man, I don't really know. For me, yeah, it wasn't that fun. I was like, eh.
My sister went one year, and she was really excited to meet the two actors that played Sam and Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And she paid like $150, and she thought for sure there was going to be like, you know how you usually there's like a 60-second meet and greet where you get to talk to them just for a minute or two.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like 2021 or 2022, and what ended up happening was Sam and Frodo, whoever those actors are, were there, but they had like a glass wall up so that you couldn't like breathe on them because of the pandemic. And she said they brought her into the room, they took a picture with the three of them, and then they shuffled her out. And she's like, I just paid $150 for a fucking photo with a glass wall in between us. And I think that's what turned me off to it. I was like, yeah, that's a very expensive for one picture with two actors that you didn't even get to shake their hands, pay them a compliment, nothing.
Yeah, it's like it's like C-tier actors that had their heydays in like the 90s, 80s, and like the original Star Trek and stuff like that are at these cons. I guess I shouldn't say C-tier; they're more successful than me. But it's like B-tier people that just like aren't acting anymore. That are like, some of them are like geriatric. And
you got fucking the guy playing Gandalf there.
Yeah, they have like their handler there, and you walk up and you're like, oh, hey, I remember you from that movie, da-da-da. And they just look at you, staring at you, and their handler's like, you want a photo? It's $70. And I'm like, fuck no. I was like, this is insane. He's not even talking. I was like, can he talk? Is that a robot?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not. I'd like to go to maybe a better con, because I have fun like making a cosplay and stuff. I'm a big nerd. And so, now that I'm actually like in better shape, I try to like cosplay as like douchey characters too that are like shirtless. So
yeah, there you go, showing off the hard work.
Yeah,
one of my friends I took to Buc-ee's the other day, and I thought he was excited for like the food and just the experience overall. When Buc-ee was there, you know, they have a guy or a gal, a human, you know, in this costume. He was so excited. He's like, David, we gotta go take a picture. And we go over to Buc-ee, and he's like, the Buc-ee's, you know, handler was there too, and he was like, can I give Buc-ee a hug? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. Here we have this grown man giving this Buc-ee this big old hug. He had the biggest smile on his face.
He's living his childhood out.
We took a picture of him, and dude, I've never seen this man smile so big. It made his fucking week. He was so excited.
Yeah, it's weird the things that some people just, he was like living a moment from his childhood he wanted to do or something, probably.
Probably, yeah.
He finally got to like hug the Buc-ee's mascot.
Yeah, I mean, good for Tyler. I'm very happy for him. Yeah, I like seeing that. I like seeing my friends smile. So if that's what it takes, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I never got really why everyone goes so crazy for Buc-ee's. It's just a big old gas station to me.
I like their sandwiches.
Yeah, I think they're decent and stuff, but I don't know. People go crazy for it and act like, oh, we gotta stop. I'm like, I could stop at any gas station and still get pretty much almost the same thing.
Maybe Buc-ee's will be my first sponsor if I talk about them enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind some free brisket sandwiches. I'd advertise the shit out of those.
They pay pretty well. I wish there was one near my house. I'd just get a job there.
They pay extremely well. My buddy, the one who wanted to see the squirrel or whatever the fuck it is, the beaver, when he saw the little billboard outside with all their rates, he was like, fuck. I'm going to get a job here.
Yeah.
Like, do it, dude. Apply.
They pay great over at Buc-ee's. I'm like, man, this seems like a good-ass place to work.
They have a 6% match on the 401k. That's strong.
That's what AT&T had.
3 weeks off. $80,000 a year. Not too shabby.
Yeah. It's nice.
Sean, this has been super fun. Thank you so much. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah. I feel like we just kept talking naturally here. Kept flowing here. So.
Yeah, that one is that? Yeah, it's 6:30 already. That flew by. Jesus. Yeah. Well, before we leave, a quick question, or actually, before I go into that, did you have anything you wanted to shoot the shit on today for a few minutes, or do you feel good?
I feel like I'm all right. Nothing comes directly to my mind right now, or no topics like popping in.
This will probably be dropped in November, which is right around your 2-year anniversary, or 3?
Yeah, that will be my 2-year around November. Is going to be my 2 year. So,
to your knowledge, do you have anything going on in like the second half of December or the first half of December that you'd want to plug real quick?
No. November 14th, I have a show at the Green Room, but nothing planned out too far yet for December.
All right, so just go to Nard Bar. Maybe you'll run into Sean 8 to 10 every Saturday night. Nard Bar, no D.
Yeah,
I don't
Nar
like you
Bar
doing that.
on Dirty Six. Nar, like gnarly kind of. It's they got a half pipe in the back that has not been worked in about 6 months. If you try to go down that half pipe, you're gonna crash. There's just a big old hole in the middle of it.
Out of curiosity, you live here, so if you say no to this, I'll be shocked. Have you been to Sign Bar?
Yeah, I feel like I've been there, but I don't really haven't been there in a while.
We just went there for the first time earlier this week. We had some friends in town from New York, and we were looking for some like things to do that would give them a taste of like Austin, that maybe not like the traditional stuff. But we went to Sign Bar and we played some foosball, some cornhole, some pool, some Jenga. It was a fun place. It was a fun hang. I liked it.
Yeah, Sign Bar. I feel like I have been there like once a long time ago, but it's it seems like a famous Austin place, so a lot of people know about it.
It feels like one of those, when we were there, it was like, this is the kind of place where people say keep Austin weird. They're referring to stuff like this. Because it was weird. It's a weird bar, but it was super fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel like it's kind of, I like more bars that aren't like super clubby and stuff like that, where you can actually have conversations and like talk to people and stuff. So
yeah, and this one was half of it was outside. So if you wanted to sit inside, you could. But it was a nice night out. All the games were outside. So I was able to bring Thad with me. He was in heaven, dude. He got to hang out with 10 other humans for a couple hours. He was stoked.
That's like the new kind of style for a lot of bars and breweries now, is to have like a big yard with games and stuff that people hang out in. Yeah. I keep seeing a bunch of those up north now, these breweries opening up that have like a big outside area.
Yeah, it is trending. It is trending. Well, to the audience, before we wrap things up, do me a favor over the next 5 minutes as we close this conversation. And if you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the podcast on Spotify, and follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts. And if you do that small thing for me, which takes about 10 seconds of your time and none of your money, my commitment to you will be to keep finding awesome people like Sean to bring you episodes every Saturday night to fill your time as you're commuting or working out or whatever the heck you listen to this thing. Also, we are doing our first event in front of a live audience on February 28th at 1 p.m. If you would like to come, it is going to be invite only of sorts. Email sitbackwithdavid@gmail.com. If you scroll down a little bit in the show notes, you'll see that email then. So shoot me a message, let me know you want to come, and I'll give you some details. I know we're going to max this thing out, and there's only about 80 seats. So don't wait if you're interested in coming. With that being said, I have one more question for you, but I don't know what the question's going to be. So I have 3 cards for you to choose from. And if you don't mind, pick one. They always go for the middle one. They always go for the middle one. And go ahead and flip it over, read it out loud, and let us know what your answer is.
Tell me something you have never told anyone before.
Oh, gee, is that actually what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know. I feel like I'm kind of like an open book. I don't really have any secrets right now.
You ever jerked off in a public bathroom?
No. What have I not told anybody?
Time you stole? Time you...
I told my mom about the time I stole when I was like 5 years old. Can I get another card?
Sure.
I was like, I can't think of something. Because I'm too open. That's one of the things that I actually like fault myself with, is being like too open, and I'm trying to get better with that, because I feel like I talk too much a little bit, or give too much of myself sometimes.
All right. In case you pick the middle one again, I'm going to mix these up. Oh, they came out in the same order. That's fine.
I'm going to pick this one now. What is a personal legacy you want to leave for yourself/children?
We talked about that. All right, third time's the charm. Third time is the charm. Do you mind if we swap that one out?
Yeah, go ahead. I was like, we kind of already answered that one.
All right. This is going to be the winner, people. I know it.
Here we go. What is the hardest thing you've ever done in your life? Honestly, it was just like kind of finding myself or so, I'd say. Like, I was like 24 years old, and I was still not like a man yet. I was still like a 19-year-old kid, and I got out in the world and had to grow up very, very fast. And it was a rough couple of years for me. I was in like a very dark place, and I was drinking a ton and stuff like that. And comedy is kind of like what dug me out of there, or once I like feel like I kind of like found myself and gave me a purpose again, and like got me back on focusing on like not just drinking and partying and like trying to meet women and stuff. It got me like set on a goal that's outside of just like partying basically. And so I think just doing that and like was probably the hardest like thing I've ever gone through. I don't know if it's like one single accomplishment or one single thing, but that was definitely the hardest time in my life, I'd say.
Thank you for that answer. I think if you're anything like me, you'll probably hit like another time where you're like, we need to reset things again. And what I mean by that is I've been feeling not like lost, but I just started seeing a counselor. I found out through my health insurance. I found a place where I can get it for free, or my insurance is covering it. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, free advice."
Yeah.
And so I've only seen the dude twice, but I really like him. I feel like I got lucky because some of my friends who have gone to counselors have told me they almost need to like shop around and meet with like 4 or 5 or 6 before they can find one they relate to. I really like this guy, and so even though I'm only 2 sessions in, I'm excited, dude. I'm looking forward to chatting with him, and I won't know, maybe I'll stick with him for 3 months. Maybe I'll be going to this guy for 3 years. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I needed someone who is not a friend and not a family member that I could sort of vent to, that has no skin in the game, that can help me get things going on a better track than they are now.
Yeah. See things from a different perspective, or like an outside perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I used to go to therapy. Stopped now because they're still charging me $90 even after my insurance.
Yeah, dude, this guy would charge $185 if I didn't have insurance, and I was thinking about it. It's like, dude, you're making bank. You're rich.
No. On my invoice, it was $600 for a therapy session, and my therapy or my insurance was paying like was paying $505 of it. And so my therapist signed whatever the fuck I wanted, though, on my FMLA paperwork. I asked for 40 hours a week off for FMLA. She signed that. You know why? Because every week I went to her, she was getting $600 fucking dollars. That's the only thing they cared about. I mean, she probably did maybe care about me. She was a good person. I'm not saying like she was a bad therapist, but like at the end of the day, like that was like they were like, oh hey, like you coming back? Like now without insurance, they haven't called me.
Dude, my guy, assuming he sees 6 patients a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. He's making about $290,000 annually.
Mm-hmm. We're talking to people, and I could do this for free for my friends all the time.
Yeah, I've had some people here. Not everyone, but probably like 3 or 4 people have come on the podcast, and maybe we talked about something a little bit more traumatic that happened in their life that they feel like they're on the other side of, and then we'll end the episode and they're like, wow, that felt like a therapy session. And then I'm like, oh, it did? $185, please.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes people just don't talk about it to people. That's why I say, like, I'm almost too open about things. It's like I tell everybody, like, everything about my life. Like, I'm normally able to meet people very easily because they're like, it doesn't seem like you judge, or like, you're just open too. And that's where I think it's a little bit dangerous being that open. I almost talk too much, give too much information, though.
It's very genuine, though.
Yeah.
And people probably gravitate towards you more because they know you're not full of shit.
Yeah. That's one thing is I feel like I make friends really easy and people, like, trust me or so. But it's also, that's one of the rules. You shouldn't be predictable.
Jeez, maybe you should stop reading that book. I don't know if this book is good for you, Sean. You're a good person. I like you. Very good first impression today. And I feel like this book might be corrupting my newest friend.
I just remembered it. A new law came into my head. It popped in there. I was like, oh, there's another one.
He's always going to tell the truth. Not good.
Yeah. How can I use this to further my intentions?
Yeah. My goodness. Well, Sean, this was super fun. Let's get you out of here so you can hit a mic or get some sleep or go to the gym, whatever you're going to do with your Thursday night. To the audience, thank you guys as always for tuning in. Stay healthy, stay happy. Come to the live event next February if you're in Austin, and have a good night, everyone.